First, thanks for everybody. I heard you're very busy now. And I hope today's conversation and this talk will be something interesting for you. So I also want to thank for and Esther for letting me to speak for today. Probably you can already tell my English is not that great. So if you don't understand, just ask me, or I might ask you, like if I don't know something, okay? So 2009, I started the Uufie with my partner Irene, cowboy, and then moved to Toronto, like in 2000. What years? But anyways, from 2013, we started. We solely concentrate to our company Uufie in Toronto. And our office is very diverse, including our background. And Irene is originally from here, from Canada, Toronto. But she worked for under Arata Isozaki in Tokyo for 6 years. And myself as I got introduced, but I born in France, in Paris, and moved to Tokyo and grew up there and educated there, and then worked there and trained there. So our background itself is diverse, but it's not limited to our background. It's also our office is actually maximum 4 or 5 people right now, but we run the project globally. And then we work with very talented people to assemble each team, because our project, each project is very different. We just found out actually it's very, very talented people never work for under somebody. So it's better to assemble each team for each project. That way that we can create the best team for each project in the world. So before I start to showing our work, those are the 4 places the project I want to talk today. And I want to talk something what we always care, while we design and the other way completion, and even after completion. The site specific, probably this is a one word, keyword, in going through all our project. Site specific is actually it's very different, as for example, vernacularism or contextualism. It is very different. We try to listen what's the actual voice and essence for each project, and then speak for the voice, and then speak expressively and uniquely. And in other way, I think we put ourselves like translator to speak for the project. Like translator may write a good novel, sometimes better novel than original, to convert into the new form, new work. So as a translator, it is very important to gain the vocabulary and strong in research. Otherwise, it is not possible to speak for others. So to do this, we always look around our daily life, including it's every day, like driving, eating, reading book, watching TV or movie. It's also our background is, since our background is very diverse, we always travel. Probably we can fill up a lot of percentage in this map. So in the way, how to say it, if we believe that if we listen to the voice carefully and pull out the essence from the context or site or each project or background, so far I think we are able to show to the people and let the people experience a little bit different world as yesterday or what you used to be. And the more variety, more diversity to the city is always what we believe is the best. So I want to start from the first project. This is we started the project 2008 and completed 2009. It's a small interior innovation in Tokyo. And we were working during this time in Tokyo. It's called Nagi. Nagi is it's for the residential young couple and one very, very little daughter. And building is like this. It's a typical old apartment which got built in 1980. That was the period of the end of the bubble economy in Japan. During this time, the market was very clear. That everyone wanted to have like 3 LDK, 2 LDK. Those whatever number mean is the amount of the room. L mean living, D mean dining, K is kitchen. So this was and then to do this in the small. To do this in a small limited space, they divided up all the room in very, very small rooms, and sometimes it's dark, it's useless, or it's the biggest problem is to divide the family dynamic, which probably in the current the society in Japan, this is one of the actually problem. But still the client needed the same function, but to be young family, and all the space need to be adaptable. Like for example, when parents come, where to sleep. When wife is working, like where to work without getting distracted by kids. And we start to think what to do with it. First, we demolish everything. With this right side photo, still have a drywall, but it will be totally got cleaned up. Left photo was just kids having fun and drawing everywhere before it taking down. So we start to think what to do with it, how to achieve what client needed. If the simply space is open everywhere like this, it's not possible to live because you need a privacy, you need sometimes some separation. And so how we achieve it? So we start to look into the monorail, how the monorail divide the city. The monorail divide the city functionally. Like you can see the left-hand side and like this side here and this side here, it's clearly divided by functional. But like, for example, this photo, it's this different building, so it's divided, but at the bottom it's connecting. So it still maintain the physical connection. And of course, it's a monorail with a transportation, structure, method. So it's transport. The people from perpendicular to the division of the rail. So we start to think how to adapt, how to use, if we can use this concept into our design. So this is a physical model what we made. It's a little bit different as actual plan what we happen, but we suspended off from the floor, hanging this long metal pipe into the space. And this space divide the function. Like this space will be the bedroom. This space was study. In the end, this space turned to be study space, and TV room, living room, and kitchen here. And then this side was south, and this side was north. And then this monorail track we were able to drive the people and connection, including the air, light, everything to flow smoothly. You can tell this is a plan here, and you can see the both sides. Both sides has a very typical big living room sometimes, and dividing into the small rooms. It's plan-wise, it's almost the same. It's a little bit differences here, but just introducing the ambiguous boundary here, it creates a more flow dynamic of the flow. And we hung how to use this monorail. So we hung the curtain, and we made a curtain, but we also didn't, in reality, we didn't want to limit it only to the curtain. We wanted this pipe itself to become the hint or like a backbone for their life. Like people, they can hang like picture, calendar, clothes, whatever, to divide actually the objects to start to divide the space. Well, anyway, I want to start to talk about curtain a little bit. We work with, I don't know you are aware, the textile designer. We work with her couple of times. Her name is Yoko Ando, and she is. We start to work. What is good here? Like you need the visibility. I mean, you need to cut the visibility, but you still feel the sense. Also, light and air is to be transparent. So this is a very standard white velvet, but we printed the chemical in pattern. Like you can see like little flowery pattern here. And the velvet is consisted of made by combination of the rayon and polyester. And then this chemical are melt the only rayon and then let the polyester to remain. Once we do this, the light comes through, but you can still cut the visibility, and it creates a very nice effect here. For this design, since it's residential house and a young family, and then the family and the requirement should be keep constantly changing in this coming 10 years, or more. So we wanted the space to be just simple background for their life. But to be background, the material, once we take down the ceiling and clean up the wall, all the materiality from floor, wall to ceiling, everything was too strong. So we were thinking how to actually dilute this. And then we were thinking how about if we put the one more layer on top to dilute all the materiality, like when you be in the mist. Left side, we are using this photo when we keep on testing many things. Like EP is emulsion paint, and then with how much percentage dilute to paint. Right side is showing how to stain the wood, but it's showing like what's the method. It's actually adding water a little bit. There is a big difference. So this is the difference. This side is just before painted. This side is all white stain and then sprayed diluted paint. This is the completion. So you can see this truck is running through, and then the space is divided by curtain. And you can feel the south and north is all connected. So kids can just play around and just find your own place. Just this place to be just background and playground for her. You can see the light comes through from south to north. And it's very fluid, yeah. And then we also made the lighting design here. I almost never buy the light. I always make everything. So this light we are thinking how to actually be the light to be not to be object, how to be just as it is. So we're thinking like how about if the light bulb is showing hanging from the ceiling, or more like hanging from wire, like how the grape or any fruits is hanging from the tree. So we expose all the metal cover for the wiring, and then just simply make a minimum some amount of socket, and then with light bulb. This was still today. It's completed 2009, but still this project makes me always happy. And probably this one was the starting point for us. Like you can see how the kids evolve. They're playing around. They hung the painting on the wall. Like it is every time when we go back to Japan, we see them. It's also I'm sometimes looking. They are sending me the photo, so it's make me happy to be architect and part of their life. So next project here, this is called Lake Cottage. This is our first Canadian project, and we are actually designing back and forth between Japan and here. Probably influence the both background. You can see the building located in front of the water, and then within or maybe you can't see. Building is here. It's camouflage into the forest. And then the client requirement was simple, and they needed a space for living and eating and sleeping And it's also they wanted the minimum damage to the site. And they also like to have some kind of privacy, but so that was a pretty open, nice requirement. And so we added this is the position. We found a little spot which we don't need to cut the tree, and it's also able to toward the building to look into the water. So this project, probably I should talk about the plan. This is the additional, and then this is a new part. And then this is the additional here. And then go into the dining space and living. And then terrace is here. And then once you go up, there's a loft space here. It's very simple building. And then we start to think, okay, how are we going to design this? And we are thinking like, how about if we use typical, probably most typical architecture volume, a pitched roof. This is in Canada. There is snow. It's very rational. Like in Japan, you're not allowed to do the flat roof construction by wood because it's actually always has a risk of the water leakage. So like those pitched roof is always, no matter what, it's rational. That's why it's everywhere in the world. So we put a very standard volume into the space, but it's very tall. Since it's very tall, actually the pitch will start to fill up the gap of the branch. So, and then underneath the pitch will just simply open. And simply to able to see. So it is actually interesting contradicting method. Make the volume tall and big to actually blending into the environment. So we start to think how are we going to design this volume? We are looking into the experience of going to the treehouse. Treehouse I think it's interesting because treehouse it's a shelter. It has actually very little opening, minimum opening because it needs to be structural. But it also could provide comfortableness. At the same time, even with the limited opening, it gives a very strong sense of being in the leaves and branch. So why the treehouse can achieve this? And then we started looking at their experience. That going into the treehouses, you always need to go through the leaf. Go climb up, and then go leaf, and then go into the space. So this is a kind of gradation from outside and it's like semi-outdoor space, like half protected zone, and go into the building. And we start to think, okay, so this is a view looking from the terrace. Maybe I should go back a little bit. So we start to think, how about if we create a layer of the space? Like we think that this living space to be like a tree house. And then it's surrounded by loft and terrace and dining. And then some part is like a sky. So it is like main volume is lapping by other volume. So this way, like when you go from outside, you go in through the semi-out, like the space design as outdoor and going into the space. It created the transition. This transition is we try to achieve the space which is very protected and then it doesn't have that much opening, but still have a strong feeling of being in the nature. Okay, I'm going to go back. So this is a view looking from the terrace toward to the water. The floor is we use the cutted wood block and filled up with little marble stones. And this is a dining space. Dining space has since dining space is designed as a landscape, although it's indoor, but it's designed using the idea of the landscape. So we use very small module of the stone, which kind of like a continuation of the gravel in outside, or like tree pattern window. Like even this lighting here, this is outdoor lighting. So people asking, why do you use this lighting in the building? And then you go into the main space. This main space has a 14 opening. Like 1, 2, 3 at the, no, 4, 3 at the top. I forgot how many. But anyways, there is a skylight, and then it's also exact same detail, but looking into the loft. And then this is, it's also the same design as a skylight, but looking into the backyard. And left side is looking into the terrace. So since everything has the same detail, exact same appearance of detail, all the 14 opening, the view through the 14 opening is treated equal value, which means that the treated outdoor and then also sky, like sky and loft, backyard and courtyard. Backyard and terrace. I think so. We treated they all the same. And this is a way to go up. So since it's this stair was to our expression of saying this building is to experience the treehouse, and I mean the experience of the treehouse. So we literally took the log and chiseled it out and put the wood straight on top. And it's actually, I don't know, it's hard to notice, but it's killed to eliminate the materiality. We finished the edge with aluminum. What's that called? Aluminum leaf. It's you leave the material, the sculpture by gold. It's aluminum leaf, I think. Yeah. And this log is this log is a maple tree. So when we go factory, then the manufacture place, it was very, very good sweet smell. So this was a very sweet stair. This is the view looking at the loft space. It is very interactive, but some ways gives a very strange feeling. The wall is slanted, everything is slanted except the floor. This left-hand side wall here, this is finished by also the exterior material and the typical like wood shingle, but we stain in the very subtle blue. So that when the light hit the color of the cedar and also the color of the blue, like will give the impression like when you're looking from the living space, what am I looking? Like am I looking the sky or am I looking leaf or space? And also this space will become the buffer, not buffer, reflector space or like light well to provide the light for the living space, because all the skylight is facing to the north side, so we limited the direct sunshine to come into the space. There was another experimentation here, and since we are going back and forth in Japan, and we are thinking, can we do something, use this experience to something? And obviously, there is a lot of cedar here, and then there is a lot of cedar in Japan. Of course, some properties, the amount of the oil contained is different, but we thought maybe we can do the similar experiment here in Canada. So this is called yakisugi, which means charred cedar. And during this time, now I see some people start to use, but during this time I haven't seen anybody using in Canada. So we didn't know who can make it. And then now, after completing we sometimes receive the phone call from other architect, how did we achieve it? But it's not secret, so I can just share. So it is very simple way. You tie the 3 siding by rope and catch the fire from bottom and then flare to up. And this is like it's like a chimney effect. It's actually charred the whole surface within minutes. And then once it gets burned, you just cut the rope and open. And then once you open, oxygen comes. Once you touch the air, the temperature goes down and the fire turns off. It gives a very nice texture. Of course, in the first 1 week, 2 weeks, if you touch, your hand become black. But eventually it will stop. And then this has a very good, nice black, rich black. It's also creating the nice texture as well as little shininess into the material. We are asking the contractor how was the experience, and their response was actually interesting. They said that it was faster and cheaper than regular stain. So probably this is one of the viable, it can be the viable option because this material originally invented in Japan to prevent from the fire by creating the layer of the char and also prevent from the termite. So it might be actually a good option for here. In the end, this is just a side story. It's very nice photo here, I like. But after releasing this photo, we got several phone calls. It was so funny because the people calling us was telling me, almost complaining us because they believe we kill a lot of birds in here. But in reality, not even one bird died. But it was interesting how the people care, and I'm very sure they're Canadian. So the reason why it doesn't kill is the distortion of the reflection image. We did this on purpose because when we think about the construction quality in up north, they don't have that much experience of experimenting the new technique or new material. So how about if we take this as an advantage? So we use actually, how much is it? The polycarbonate sheet in only 2 mil. It's very thin. It's like a paper once you lift it in that scale. And then we apply in the very strong double side tape and glue, which can resist to the temperature. So, but since it's very thin, once you apply, it starts to warp. And it creating this distortion. And then we saw this distortion, creating the distortion is actually able to give the reality. It's kind of contradicting, giving the unreality to create a reality. Is to try to contain the nature in the endless nature in the volume. So okay, let's go next. Next project. This is a Canadian origin fashion brand for Ports 1961. We are asked to design their facade in Shanghai. This is what's that street? Jing'an. This is called Jing'an Temple. It's one of the major tourist spots in Shanghai. And then this street connects to here. From here to here is probably only 5 minutes walk. And it is very, very busy street, and it's a lot of traffic, including the pedestrian to bike to everything. So, but the ports is they're coming up now, but they are still new as a high-end brand. It's not like a Louis Vuitton or Christian Dior, Hermès, or those type of brand. And they don't have an identity yet. So we are asked to showcase, basically create what is identity here. At the same time, based on our experience, like Louis Vuitton and those type of store, once they make one, they will repeat the same design or similar design or alternation to other location and repeat to show their consistent identity, which means that design need to be adaptable, design need to be transformable. So we are thinking what is actually the good, how to design this. And no matter what this building will become, that need to be like icon or like symbol for or landmark for the city, which means you will treat it as kind of like an alien. So how to bring the one object to here and able to convert. Its site is like this. This is a building, and this is typically, I think, if the site is here, but this site is sticking out so much, so there is a big 45-degree angle cut. So how are we going to achieve? How are we going to adapt our design to here, and what is possible to do? So we started looking into the iceberg. Probably iceberg can be the strong identity for them. It's interesting. The iceberg is they come out from the glacier or I don't know whatever big chunk of ice, and then they migrate. And then while they migrate, they form to fit. Or they melt and form to fit to their own environment, sometimes by heat or rain or wind, wave, current. I think there is many components. Anyway, this is everything is glacier that you can easily find those images from many places, and you can see the variety here. So how about if we design the building like this way? We start to think since all the ice is consisted by a little module of the water, how about if we just use, if we think as a module? So, and what is the simplest module that can actually go many countries, many places, and then still able to adapt and also achieve the design? And then this part here, it's we study as an entrance, and this is facing to the two big intersection here, and this is a bow window here, and the bow window here. This is highly visible from other side of the street. And where this building, where the most want to be expressive surface is this surface, because facing 45 degree to the intersection. So this surface, once you combine the cube block, this 45 degree becomes a zigzag wall, and then the rest of the wall becomes a simple flat wall. So how are we going to do this? We worked with the Italian manufacturer they specialize in glass block, and we thought the design can copy easily, but because those brand is, if somebody like it, other people just copy it. So to prevent from the copying, one of the strategy is to prevent a new material. So we worked with them to see if we can actually create a large size corner block by creating mitering the two glass block, and glue it together by glass pate, and then cured it. And once you have a once you have a corner block, this facade, the typical glass block facade, which can be only the straight, can actually move, transform into the three-dimensional. Of course, as a concept, it's very simple, and you will see the result is end result looks very, very simple, but typically those simple design require one of the highest effort for engineering and also detailing. We work with a facade engineer how we can hold this heavy glass block together without casting the very unusual shadow to distract the night view, also reflection, also the appearance. So we produce mock-ups several times. This is testing many things. It's testing like this area has a different type of glass block finish. You can see the bow window and canopies mock-up. This area has another glass block. It's actually, this area is another glass block. You can't really tell by this. Since it's new glass block, no one installed it. So we also needed to work and train the local carpentry people to work how to actually install this quality. It's also like we are controlling the quality from far, not from abroad. It was very important to establish the minimum detail and minimum material and most rational construction. So as long as I establish this, we don't even need to worry about the site itself, because once it's done, rest of the work is repetitive work. This is a nighttime study. We testing the effect of the finishes as well as the color of the lighting and also shadow. You can see like this area has a little bit different shadow as here. So this is, we put the lighting, embedded the lighting in between the mortar joint in the back, and casting the light toward to the back side of interior wall, which painted in white. That will make a very natural effect of the lighting. This is the end result. And then we always think the exterior building, it's not limited to only facade, probably like 70–80% of this building. Any building, I think the facade is actually belong to the city, because when the owner in the building, you don't see the facade. So, and then the facade is always visible from the street. So we think it is city, the interior, the facade is, we should think as part of the interior wall for the street. So to be the interior wall, by creating this expressive, in a way it's like decoration or ornament, but it's also expression of the module, becomes actually the hint for the people to make a space. Like you can imagine if it's just a simple solid wall, you don't know where to go. But once you have some hint there, like any shadow, canopy, the people will actually go under the canopy. So we're creating the little hint into the facade. Like this one, if just functionally visible, you just don't need to even bore, like extruding out. But we're extruding out to make a little hint to the facade. So the people start to stand underneath or rely. There is, instead of just being flat, it will start to have an interaction between the street and people. I don't know, you can tell. Like this area is not 545 degree. This unit is able to go corner block and straight block, corner block. So you can, by this combination, you can actually transfer, like move the, you can actually fit this layout in many occasions. This is a stepping out stone, I mean the window. And this lighting was, we didn't want to make the lighting to be very just bright, backlit, very bright glass block. We wanted the naturally glow, because how the ice glacier will get sunshine and then reflect and reflect back and reflect, and then keep on reflecting the light inside and gives a variety of the lighting. So sometimes you see the slab shadow, sometimes you see when the interior wall is far from the glass block, you see the difference. This is, we just took ourselves, but it's interesting to see how the people flow, also how crazy people drive. I actually don't even know where we are standing in this. In the daytime, it's appear very like a stone. It's a very monolithic. And in the nighttime, the monolithic, this materiality transformed to glowing box like a lantern. The contrast was also the important. It's good to create something unexpected thing. Otherwise, people don't even curious first. Okay. Next project. This is we completed last year. It's called 1.4, and you can see this is very typical interior. How to say, the shell? It's like we call it the nest of the eel, or like a shoebox. You get that lighting only from one side. It's very deep, and yeah, that's kind of limited space. So, and then the program was also very tight. There is a waiting space, and then there is 3 exam room, and then there is what's the room called? Like you measure the height, weight, also shoot a needle, and then there's office here. So there is no that much flexibility. So in this case, we decide, okay, let's do very rational design. If you look at this only, you don't even know what you design. Just everything connected by this one corridor. So we're thinking like how actually to make this very rational standard layout that we produce ourselves, which we think was the best, and to make speak the project itself. So we started looking the program again. The program actually, the medical office program, probably it's mini medical. It required 2 conflicted ideas. One is when you're sitting, you need privacy and comfortable and trustable feeling. But when you're standing, they want to have an open, transparent, clean feeling. And how are we going to achieve this together? So we start to look, how how about if the space is like a water? Water is interesting. Like of course, it's a water. So when you under the water, you have a different world, and when you stick the head above the water, you have another world. Yeah, bottom is more you can't breathe, but you feel something more protected, and when you're above, you feel more transparent. So how about if we apply this to our design, which means we will create the horizon, the water surface at the 1.4 meter from floor, which means just below the eye level, and below is more comfortable, above is more clear, transparent. So how are we going to create this? So this side one, this photo, this is just paint, but it's controlled the two different shininess. Bottom is more shiny because they need a function. You can wipe, you can clean up. And middle one is a polycarbonate filled up with recycled tambo glass. And tambo glass still light comes through and it gives a protective feeling. And this is just you will use for the door. And this is a stained wood. Upper part is stained white. Bottom part is just as wood it is itself, because since it's door, people touch, it's better to have a darker color. But you can see obviously the polycarbonate was the most complicated one. And because it's a polycarbonate panel is a honeycomb panel, which has a cell, which has a gap, like hole, it's a honeycomb panel. So we try to fill up each cell by tambo glass chip. But since nobody expects to use the material in that way, even we measure the same amount of glass and then filled up, it's never aligned. So it's always up and down, But we just let it happen. So how we create was just approximately create a 1.4 and filled up. And sometimes when you have a gap, you filled up. You try to squish it down by shaking. This is how slow to grow. This is the speed. So especially our staff was staying in the site almost a couple of weeks and only doing this. But it was good. So slow and very, very patient work. So you can imagine how much time it will take to do this portion. So this is the end result. You can see the nice effect of sunshine coming in through the polycarbonate panel. This is the one with the photo. You can see it creating the horizon here. It's very subtle, but it gives a definitely different feeling when you're sitting and standing. And this line continue all the way in. So below this line, there is all the equipment, whatever necessary, and above is very simple. This is the time when you are standing up, your head is just stick out from the 1.4 meter zone. And then this space here is a function as a light well. The ceiling is finished by polycarbonate, and all the light makes a basic light for every single space. Next project. This project we didn't release yet, and we are still shooting photo now. In 2013, we were invited for the competition for the Printemps in Paris. And Printemps Haussmann is located just beside the Grand Lafayette, which is one of the major department store in Paris. The competition brief was to create the new void space for entire 10-story, and as well as the escalator. So basically the goal was to create a circulation. So how are we going to think this? This is a original, really old Printemps itself. Because during beginning of the 20th century, the Printemps, Bon Marché, or Grand Lafayette, they're all investing their money to make the future vision of the shopping. So but this was unfortunately, I think 1921, there was a big fire here, and a lot of people lost their life here. And after that, the regulation in Paris getting very strict, and then even you go today now, it's boarded up everything. You almost don't see anything about like this face. So only thing what you see today almost is what's happening on top of this. Is this. So they have a very, very nice stained glass, which used only for the restaurant right now. So this is a model photo we use for the presentation. We didn't need to submit the model, but we needed to impress the client. So we made this and also made the lighting and did the whole demonstration. So what we're thinking was, how about if we insert this big dome, stained glass dome, into the vertical space in a more contemporary way. This is this is a big wall, big curved wall, which think as a stained glass. This is looking from back, and you can see there's a vertical circulation here. This is all escalator. This is a model photo looking from above. Escalator here is divided up by a big surface of the one-way mirror. This is not the common material for architecture. It is architecture, but not the common material for retail or any regular use, because it's really used for the like what's the name called? What's the name? The police investigation room. Yeah. So what we're trying to create using this is to create the contrast between the escalator to be dark space, and it has a big open space, and then other side has a big curve, which is very pure geometry. Both sides to be pure arch, and top, bottom, both sides is exactly the same arch shape. So, but when you stand from side, this geometry reflects into the one-way mirror to complete the one shape of your eye. So how about if we think this as a new dome? For the stained glass, another thing that's important is a color glass. How are we going to make a color? Typically it's a stained glass. It's blue, never changed to blue. But since this design is very interactive, by looking changing the vision by where you look constantly. Also, you always look by escalator. So we start to look how about if we can achieve the color like how the oil drop on the water. It creates a like a rainbow color because the light go in between the layer, in between the water and oil, and then the thickness of the oil is different. So wherever that light comes to your eye is always different. So there is actually the same material which can able to achieve the same effect, which called dichroic film, and dichroic glass. But it was difficult to guess what will happen. So we started to build the mock-up with the facade engineer. He's a boss of the facade engineer. They call it Tess. They designed the facade for, now it's a lot of Frank Gehry building in Europe. Like even the Louis Vuitton Foundation is done by them. But they're very good. Anyway, it's very interesting to work with them. And then once we make the mock-up, we realize there is some strange thing happen. This is like mock-up. It's looking into space. But once the color reflects back side of the panel, it shows a different color as here. And then when somebody stands, it's different color here. It's also not only about color. Like, for example, look at here. Like, if it's reflection, you're not supposed to see this metal, but you're seeing the metal through my hand. So there is something weird happening. I actually don't know why it's happened yet. We also work, this is very limited space and difficult construction, so all the detail need to be established very well. So we worked with the manufacturer from the Czech Republic, and they are very good manufacturer, because in the socialism country, all the good student becomes engineer. Here, good student becomes something about finance. But since their socialism finished only really recent, and they have a very, very good engineer. Like this detail here. Like you can see, like it's actually not in the center. Like when you turn here, this panel will move this way. But when you turn this panel move perpendicular to this. I mean this screw, it moves this way. And then you can adjust up and down. So one screw and one detail allow the panel to be adjusted in 3-dimensional. It was interesting detail here. So this panel was made in the 2-layer. The top layer to be some part relief, some part to be opening. And then this is the backside layer with structure together. And this is when it's assembled, just pre-assembled on the manufacturer. And it's also the building is very old, and then old building, or the slab is the quality of the construction is pretty rough. It's sometimes like almost like this much different. And so how we design the structure to be able to adapt all the condition it's tricky and very important. And it's also how to do this. This is just for fun. This movie, client was having too much fun of this project, and then we needed to do something how to install the escalator. So they shoot the whole process here. It doesn't show much, but it's interesting. This is a Houseman Boulevard, which is very busy street. So they started from the middle of the night and blocking the half of the main boulevard in Paris. You can see in this YouTube. I don't know, they're having so much fun. But you can see how the space is narrow and almost sliding this big object like over 30 meters. And then this is how it's installed the 18 escalator like this. And by the time when it's finished, it's already morning. I think so. I don't think they can close the street that many days. Well, it's really busy. You can't even cross, actually, if it's regular day. I don't know what it say there. Well, anyway. It was 12? Okay. So 12 one night. So this is a completion. It's pretty close to what we envisioned in the beginning. It's complete in the geometry with reflection. Or the pattern is, we studied the pattern actually very long time because pattern is very important. We took the pattern from the existing dome and then change it, and then because it's need to fill up the whole surface, and we actually made it the whole pattern here. And then the color effect it's richer than probably regular stained glass because it's really million color is here. And then the printemps means it's a spring, right, in French. So we try to express the identity by pattern here. Like you can see the contrast here, like this side to be very dark and this side to be very bright void. But the void has the escalator, the dark escalator, the people will expose into the big opening in the middle. So you feel that since it's because the interaction was limited by darkness, once you go open, you feel the connection more. People constantly looking up and down here. It's like this. I'm hoping to get some more photo within this week. It is very interesting material. Probably, if we look into more, maybe we can find something more interesting, something you can do more. So in the end, I want to talk about the two projects. This is a small project. It's a furniture. We always design the furniture because furniture is the production speed is faster, and then the quality you can control higher quality compared to the interior building, and you can do more complicated thing. But the approach is to look at to be concentrated site specific. In this case, probably material specific. It's the same for us. We just purely listen about what's the material speak. So this peacock was started by asking by DuPont. And DuPont, as probably you know, their famous product is Korean, which everyone uses for the kitchen counter or sink. And many people design. So we look at the Google design, and then a lot of photos come up, including design done by even famous people. So we are a little bit honestly afraid if we can do something beyond what everybody did. So more you're looking into and then we start the research about the material, and then more you look, material Korean is quite similar to like paper, or probably more closer to lasagna. Like you can get softened, but once you get, and then you can get, and after they get harder, but once you get harder, you cannot really deform, and you can bend, but you cannot stretch. It's exactly the same. So we start to come up with design. We send in the sketches to manufacturer, and then next time when we visit, they already made it a mold, and there's a lot of testing. This is really only a small little part. And in the end, we designed the chair. So what we're trying to do using this technique was to capture the moment, like for example, the bird is opening the fan, or like flower is blossoming. Like try to capture the moment, because this material gets soft to hard within 5 minutes. And once 5 minutes pass, you cannot reform it. It's actually the construction technique plus the design was exactly matching. So that's how we designed. To design the chair, it was important for us to think what does it mean of sitting, or what does it mean of the chair. A lot of people, I know the chair, they care about how comfortable it is, or price, or how rational. But in some way, when you look at the king or pop, like for sure they sit in very uncomfortable chair. But the back is very high, it's make them to greater, and sometimes greater than who they are. So, including everything, it's a chair. Some king put the screen in the back and then sit on the floor. That's all one part of the action of sitting. So how about if we look in we try to look at this chair to actually looking into not new way, just looking into the alternative way of seeing the chair. This is a photo we shot from the shadow, from the top, and this is all just looking the shadow. And this is the first time we released. It was interesting. We showed this chair in Milan, Paris, Miami, many places. But we realized this chair has some little interaction between the furniture and people. Because when everyone sits, they pause a little bit and waiting to take a picture or waiting to make look something beyond different. Like they try to transform from something who you are. This was so cute, girl. Next design, this we will show in the Milan next week, in 2 weeks. Yeah, at a couple of places, including like Spazio Rossano Orlandi. And we are looking into the material called liquid metal. And liquid metal is able to apply to, like for example, like a wood. And liquid metal is actual metal. So what does it mean you can actually apply onto other material? So how about if we design if we make the material which has a very strong reality, but exists a too strong reality to eliminate the reality. So when you see the object, you actually don't know this is metal or wood because both are very real. You don't even know which one is fake. And to do this, we are actually lived in Montalcino in Italy for months and working with a manufacturer. He was a very nice person. His name is Samuel, and his father worked for some of the metal work for Carlos Carpa. And they have a very good technique. And I mean, it's very simple technique in high level. Well, anyway, that's it. And then we start to look how we're going to apply, how we're going to embed the metal, how we're going to merge the metal and wood. And this left photo here, you can see this is the metal. This is just to fill up the crack. We're just putting out the fun in the beginning. And main topic is here. This technique called uzukuri, and every wood has a grain, right? And then the grain means where you see the line is a hard part because that was during the winter, which means it's more dense and it's harder. And where it has those white part here, like brighter zone, this is the zone. This is the area the tree grow during the summer. It's softer. So this technique is to remove only the softer layer, softer grain by a metal brush. And then we apply the metal on top, liquid metal on top. This is a detail. Like it's from metal, and then the liquid metal is in between the grain and transition to the wood. This is the actual material, the actual table. This is the side table. It's very small one. So we made the 3 table actually here. This is pretty big one. It's a dining table, and this is a side table, and this is the brass. And this is a 3 design. The 3 chair. Table, which we will show again. And we are thinking how to actually design. I know we got the material, but how we're going to design is a little bit different story. So while we are staying in Fano in Tuscany, which is beside the ocean, and we just found the 2-3 stone. Pick up the nice stone at the beach, and probably since the color and the marble quarry is close, probably those are marble. It's different type of marble, but the shape is tumble by current and wave, which means if we apply this profile to the table, probably all the activity, communication, also relation, people's flow become very smooth because this is a smooth shape. So the table should be smooth shape. This is the sunrise when we found the table after drinking at the beach. It's really sunrise. This is very sleepy this time. This is it. Thank you.